Let's do some audience questions, good questions this week. First of which is from Lucas. Lucas said, hey, would you guys want to go back in time to an earlier age and live through that year of your life again? What age would it be? With every one of these questions, there's some complexity. And the question is, would it be going back to the earlier age with all of the knowledge and experience I currently have? Or do you mean just go back to being 7 years old, knowing only what I knew at age 7 and relive that year in my life? Both have sort of their own complexities, but let's take it one step at a time. I think that, now being an adult and having responsibilities, it's very common, and I know a lot of my friends have the same sort of feelings, that when we were in middle school, when we were in 7th grade, for example, and you've got that long summer between 7th and 8th grade, you have no responsibilities, you were probably young enough that you didn't have a job yet. I think I might have been doing like computer classes at the local council on aging, like teaching older folks how to use computers for like $5 an hour or two a week, right? But basically I had no job. That it would just be such freedom. And if I were to go back and be 11 or 12 at that point, and not know any better, I wouldn't appreciate it any more than I appreciated it then, right? I mean, now, if you said, hey, David, you know what? Everything is going to be taken care of for the next 6 months. Financially, for the show, you'll be able to come back and pick up your business. There's no point in you worrying at all. Just take 6 months and you don't have to worry about anything. That's very different than saying, go back and live your 12th year on the planet over again without having any of the knowledge you have now, because as they say, youth is wasted on the young or something like that.
Yeah.
In reliving it, I wouldn't necessarily appreciate it any more than I did then.
And of course, there are downsides to being that age. So for example, you're subjected completely to the will of your parents.
Yes.
If they want you home at 10 o'clock at night, you got to go home, whether, now you're used to being out much later than that. And
yeah, we know you're used to being out way later than that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, do you romanticize that or any other phase in your life? I sometimes start to, and then I sort of have a conversation with myself and I say, hold on a second. I have self-determination now. I have financial independence now. Mm-hmm. If I want a second cookie, I can have a second cookie or whatever.
Probably more confidence too as you get older. You become more confident.
Although probably I have I don't know that now. I was probably still more likely then to get the second cookie than now, just because now I would opt not to have the second cookie. I don't know. I think being an adult is pretty good in general.
I would go back, but only under the stipulation that I know what I know now, and I have the same mindset and attitude and knowledge and confidence that I have now. And I think the age that I would pick would either be 14 or 18, because those are both transitional ages in the sense that one, you're starting high school, and the other, you're starting college. So I would be able to approach not only like the work that I'd have to do and be a better student, but also just be better with like my involvement in the school, develop better relationships, I think.
Yeah. I think if I were to go back to high school and college age now, knowing what I know now, I think I would definitely be more involved in certain things and would have sort of a different approach. I think that 24 is a really good age because you're old enough to do everything. You're young enough that you're still very young. Depending on what you're doing, you start to develop financial independence and sort of have a sense of yourself in the world, completely independent of not only parents, but also from sort of like the being in school paradigm. And I think that's sort of interesting. But again, it's knowing what I know now.
See, I think I would be 24, but I would need a year or so to prepare for it and get my knowledge and my skills up, and then I think I'll be ready.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's a good way to approach it. Okay, Julie. Next question is from Julie, but that question was from Lucas. Appreciate the question.